Thank you. Ed Marisiak here from East Toronto Living. Thank you. And in this video, we are going to be talking about yet another article from Blog.to, and it's titled "Record Number of Condo Projects Are Being Scrapped in Brutal Toronto Market." So we're going to go do a deep dive in this article. If you want to learn more about what's going on in this brutal Toronto condo market, stay tuned. Hey friends, if you can do me a favor, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. I know there's lots of viewers that haven't subscribed, and I'm so pleased to report that the subscribership has jumped enormously just in the last 2 weeks. So I'm very excited, and let's just keep that momentum going, and we've been getting a lot more views. So exciting. Thank you for that. And I appreciate all of you for watching my videos, and it encourages me to keep shooting more. Also, remember folks, I'm a real estate agent. This is how and why I get all this information. I'm able to compile it. I'm out in the trenches, using this info and servicing clients. So if you want to jump out and look at some property, or you got any questions about real estate, we could definitely go and look. If you go back to some of my previous videos, there's a lot of those properties are still for sale. So we can go out and check out some of those. Or if you're from out of town, we can have a Zoom meeting. At any rate, here's my contact information. Call me, text me, send me a carrier pigeon, email me, whatever your preferred method of communication is. And let's have a conversation. Let me help you out with your real estate needs. Okay, so let's dive right in here. Record number of condo projects are being scrapped in brutal Toronto market. Yet again, this reporting is from Blog.to. I'm going to leave a image here so that you can when you go to look at Blog.to, you'll recognize the title and the image that there is. But basically, the GTA has set a number of records lately, and they're not particularly good. I'm sorry to report. The days of bidding wars are obviously over. I mean, for some areas and some types of properties, we're still having some bidding wars, but definitely not for condominiums, unless they're priced really low, really, really, really low. But that's just not happening. But according to this, resale real estate listings have jumped up to 32,000. Actually, I checked ChatGPT just a few moments ago, and it was actually 29,000 and something. But so this is pretty accurate. This was probably September's findings, and ChatGPT those numbers would be live. So, but anyway, let's just go with that number for now. It's high and it's not good. That's lots of property for sale. Now, also, ChatGPT told me that just in the GTA, there's about 7,000 condominiums for sale. So, and that's a lot. So the latest stats of housing have reported that we're actually at a 35-year low for new construction. This reporting came out Thursday by the insiders at Urban Nation, and this is really sad here because they cite that 319 new condo apartments sold across the GTA, and that was just in the last quarter. That's a really low amount. I think I reported a similar amount. Normally at this time, we would see about 2,000 new condo units sold, according to them. But this is so low. It hasn't been this low since 1990. I was around in 1990. That was the Great Recession, Canada's Great Recession, and I can remember every third house was for sale. And I wasn't really paying attention to real estate at the time, but I was to some degree because I mean it was in the news every day. But I can remember those were tough times. I was unemployed for quite some time, and those were that was pretty bad. So I am hoping that we don't get ourselves into that kind of a recession again, because that was very long and very drawn out. Now, I saw some reporting. I think it was Global News that they said we're kind of No, it was on the radio actually, and we're sort of teetering on recession. Unemployment jumped up to 7.9%. Very bad. That's really for we've been keeping it for well below 5% for years. We've had such a great economy, and this is all this inflation is really did a number on our economy for sure. And of course, we mustn't forget our friends down south who are making things quite difficult for the economy. And it's not just us; it's the world economy, and not to mention for themselves as well. But we won't go there. I try not to get into politics, but these things are something that we have to be mindful of because they are affecting what's going on here, and I need to know about this stuff so that I can better service my clients. And when I'm reporting, I want to try to give you factual insights. But third quarter projects totaled were about almost 2,500 projects, all canceled, and which that's bringing the total year to date there to 18 projects, a previous record that we just broke. Apparently, this was in 2018. There were about 15 projects. That was almost 36 units. Units were canceled, but they reactivated that very quickly after that. Once they got sort of past to some of the economics and so forth. That was a very temporary hold. But as I said earlier, 32 projects total were scrapped, and that we're now at almost 7,000 units are scrapped from production. Not good news. Not good news at all. We also saw a 3.5% drop in value year over year, and the previous year was 9.6. But I don't think this reporting is quite accurate. I think it's quite a bit more than that. If they're reporting on condos, it's more than that. If it's all real estate, it's probably close. But at any rate, close to 30,000 properties still sitting on the market here, and buyers are still sitting on the fence. One glimmer of hope I can offer is that the Bank of Canada is very likely going to lower rates. That date will be that they will announce this on October 29th, which is next week. We will know. That will definitely jumpstart the economy, and we will see our new numbers. We'll see the October numbers in around the 4th or 5th day of November, and I can do an assessment then and just see where this economy is going. But we're still sort of sitting in a sort of limbo land. But these economic numbers that we heard were not good. So the Bank of Canada is definitely considering raising or lowering interest rates. The one thing that is not working in our favor is that inflation went up slightly. They, I think it was 2.1 was predicted, and What a great relationship we have. But again, like I say, that's one glimmer of hope I can offer in terms of real estate. The other thing too is we're starting to enter a seasonality slowdown. So I mean, November is probably the last good month, and then come mid-November, we start to see everything kind of slow down. Sellers are discouraged to sell because we're coming into the December months, and people are not in house buying mode; they're in holiday mode. They're going to all the holiday parties at their offices. They're going out. They're shopping. They're doing their Christmas shopping, or Hanukkah shopping. It all happens in the same time frame, and people just stop searching for real estate. So, and I quite often I will tell my clients that this is not a great time to list your property. If you have to, wait till January. That's almost the beginning of the spring market. So, but this is what we're entering into, and this is the news that we have for the time being. And I think I will remain positive as always, because as I've often said, there is no bad market. It's bad for some people, but it's good for others. And right now, it's great for buyers. I will say this again. We've never seen a market like this where rates are low, and they're getting lower, and also the prices are low. This has never happened ever, at least not in my lifetime. But I don't think it's ever happened. So let's take advantage of this, friends. I've got a couple people that messaged me, and we're going to meet next week or the week after, and we're going to get out and look at some properties. So I encourage you. If it's a Toronto property that you want, this is the time. And also, I hear a lot of people. How do people afford? How do people afford prices? Listen, folks, you don't have to live in Toronto. Toronto is probably in Ontario. Toronto is the most expensive market there is. In Ottawa, it's half the price to live in Toronto, to live in Ottawa, our nation's capital. If you drive 1 hour in any direction, it's half the price of Toronto. You do not have to live in Toronto. And I will help you. I will go as far as Oshawa. I've actually sold in Bowmanville, but Bowmanville's a little bit further than Oshawa. So I go to Oshawa because that's my hometown. That's where I'm from. And I will go as far as Barrie, but I have a real estate. Actually, I'll go up to Barrie. I'll go up to Collingwood because I have a place in Collingwood, and I have sold and I've listed property in Collingwood. So, and then as far as west of the Toronto, I have friends that take care of the West End. I don't like going to the West End, but I have good friends that can help you. And they've been on my show here, Victor and Fernando, and they're more than capable of helping you out. So I can recommend them to you, and you can meet with them or whatever. So or we can work together somehow. Sometimes Fernando and I we did many deals together, and we share the workload, and we share the remuneration and so forth. So, all right, friends. So don't forget, if this is valuable to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and yes, thank you, thank you very much. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me lots of nasty comments. Bring them on. And don't forget, if you got any questions about real estate, here's my contact information. Let's go out and see some property. Hey, don't forget, every Thursday at 5 o'clock, I put out a new video. I've been told by my producer to start shooting more videos. More on that. I will definitely maybe seriously consider it. Have a great week. Bye for now.